ready?
Well, I thought Louisiana Tech really shot the basketball well tonight. You know, first half, I thought the difference was that Crawford had went 3 for 3 from three-point line. When they went small again, that's the dilemma you have a little bit. And we had Jamar. Thought you got to force him off that line. Second half, only made 1. I think he only scored 7 points, and he's their really go-to guy. I thought Jarris did a really good job on him for the most part all night. They make 13 threes. They shot 33, almost 40%. But we stayed pace. I think we made 10 for 19 at 52%. We got to the foul line. We shoot 18. I think they shoot 6. It's a big stat. You know, it was first half, I really thought we were really good offensively and defensively both. I know we held them to 33% shooting in the first half. Second half, they made a few more plays around that rim. I know at halftime they had 5 two-point field goals at halftime. The second half, they got more two-point field goals. But overall, it was a good team effort. Landers came off the bench, really added too. That's what we need from him. Been waiting for that a little bit, and he was really good. And so we got to put that one behind us pretty quick. We've got senior night coming up Saturday, and probably got the best team in the league coming here in UAB. Questions?
Yeah, of course, Landers' minutes had gone up a little bit last time out. And I kind of expect that again, but maybe not there in that spot when they're making their run. What was the decision there?
Well, I felt comfortable with him. You know, he'd made a couple shots, hadn't turned it over. Just felt comfortable with him. You know, Landers gives you some quickness out there, another level of quickness and athleticism. Again, I keep saying this, he just hasn't played any. He's an inexperienced guy. Him and Dante both sophomores, but they hadn't played. You know, Dante's played more than 3 games, and he's played all his career. And Landers not a lot of minutes, so I just felt comfortable with him. He drove it in there tonight, went off 2 feet. Somehow he didn't get the call, ball went off us, but that was good. That was improvement because we've been on him hard to go off 2 feet in there and get to the foul line. But, you know, he jumped up, and I don't know where he made them at, but we played with him. He jumped up and made some shots, and that was big. Defensively, he's pretty good every night because he's got a lot of quickness and athleticism defensively.
Going off that, in the timeout, they get it down to 4 points, and then Christian comes out and hits a 3 out of your timeout. Was that designed for him?
Well, it was Davey driving to the hole. That was number 1. Get it to the rim. I think we're probably in a bonus at that point. And we got into it pretty quick. And that's first option, get downhill. And he got downhill, and Dave made a nice read on it. They sunk on Dave. All of them just collapsed on him, and Dave made the right read and pitched out to him. And he gets his feet set, not rushed. He's a pretty good shooter.
Yeah, just back on Christian, too. I was wondering, how much of this was kind of development minutes, or was that the plan, or was it just earned tonight?
Hey, listen,
You might see balls in there at that point.
Yeah, it wasn't no experimental game now. We're trying to win the game. There's no time for developmental and experimental. We're trying to win. You know, there's some nights that, you know, maybe you feel more comfortable. We're always comfortable with Rawls because he's a good ball handler and an experienced player. And, you know, I think Landers probably made a couple shots. Thought he was doing a good job on Willis defensively. And that was a little reason, too, to leave him in there. So I'm sure it did a lot for his confidence.
Coach, in that first half, I feel like they had a lot of second chance opportunities. They had 8 offensive rebounds there. But the second, you really cracked down on it. How are y'all able to, you know, hold them to only 2 offensive rebounds in that second as opposed to 8?
Well, I've seen the film. I don't know for sure, except they spread out and shot a lot of threes. I know we got Crawford in foul trouble, too. Got him out of that game in that stretch. They don't rebound the ball as well when Crawford's out of that game to big Crawford. But for the most part, you know, Jamar, I just told Dana to see where that stat is. I know he had 10 or 11 rebounds, about that 16-minute mark. He had 8 at halftime. I don't know how he played the last 15 minutes, only got 1 or 2 because he played a bunch of minutes. But Jarris, like I said, I thought Jarris defensively was good tonight. E-Man, we played the first half without him. That's a kind of a little bit of adjustment, a little bit. And that made Landers have to play a little bit more in that first half, too, to get in there with Rawls and Dave. So, but again, good team effort.
Dante and Davey pretty much carried you guys offensively in the first half. Dante's rapidly become really a reliable scoring threat for you guys, I thought. Has it happened quicker than you expected, considering that you got off to a similar start?
Well, again, remember this with him. He didn't play those first 7 games. And then he's basically getting eligible conference time. That's basically when it was. He played 1 game before then, is that right? Yeah, he played 1 game South Carolina, is that right?
Yes.
So you don't get eligible to conference time. And you go right into the conference and, not much time to experiment. We got Luke in there, and Luke's your experienced guy. You're going to go with experienced guys. And, to Dante's credit, he's been patient. He's had a good attitude. He's kept working. He's gotten better in some areas. He's gotten better defensively for us. He's got better rebounding the basketball than he was when he first got in here. One thing he could always do is shoot. But there's no substitute for experience. And when we lost Luke, that leash gets really long now. And you got an opportunity to play through mistakes. And mentally, that does so much for you. And it's gave him a lot of confidence. And I think he's added different things to his game besides just making a 3. He's shown the ability to put it down a little bit, get in the post and do a few different things. So, and again, there's no substitute for experience he's been able to gain here in these last 6, 7 games.
I thought Jamar was a real difference maker throughout, too. He ended up leading you guys in minutes, which was a little surprising.
Yeah, that probably is. Him and McKnight both. He is. You're right, 34. We're comfortable in there defensively. You know that. He's a different guy in there defensively. And, offensively, we were able to make enough plays. Sometimes they switch those 5 guys off on Dave. Didn't do it as much. Last game, they switched it every time. And Jamar really punished him the first game. Had a little guy on him. Didn't switch it near as much tonight. So he didn't get quite as much around that rim as he normally gets. But, he played hard. He played hard. He played to exhaustion. And I like that about him.
You guys opened the game leading 12-2. You talk about winning those first 4 minutes. What does that do for your players' confidence down the stretch?
Well, it's good for you. Both those halves, win those first 4 minutes, and you get off to a good start. It gives everybody confidence. Get off to a bad start, it goes the other way. It gives the other team confidence. You want to win those first 4 minutes every half, and I think we came out of the second half. It was a 12-point game. We won the first 4 minutes of the second half. That's always important, especially those road teams when they're behind. You can't let them come out and get a little confidence those first 4 minutes. And for the most part, we kept them at bay. We had a turnover that led to a 3, come back, missed shot, and went back down and fouled a 3-point shooter for 4 points. They scored 7 points, and I would say it was less than a minute and a half for sure. That was kind of 2 little plays that got them back and allowed them to, cut that lead down a little bit. But we survived it and made the plays when we had to make them and got the free throw line when we had to get there.
Coach, just a huge win in terms of conference standings. You and Louisiana got the neck and neck going this one, and now you got that 1-game lead on. How important was this win for you guys, and how do you use it as momentum heading into the conference tournament?
Listen, they're all important. You know that, and they're all important. As I said all along, I dug us such a bad hole, those first 9 games. And again, coaches did an unbelievable job. Players played as hard as they could play, and just it was a tough situation to get thrown into. So I dug us a hole right there. And, we've been kind of trying to fight out that hole ever since a little bit. But, our guys I think it's very obvious on a given night we have an opportunity against anybody. This league is the best it's ever been. There's probably 9, 10 teams can beat anybody on a given night. It's whoever gets hot in, those 3 or 4 days. It's kind of where it is. Who ended up winning the Charlotte, North Texas game?
Charlotte.
So, hey, there you go again. Charlotte's, we all know what happened on that one too. So, a lot of parity in this league, the best it's ever been. And I guess the net shows that for the first time too.
You got a UAB team coming in that you guys got at their place last time. They've got plenty of motivation. Just for their own reasons anyway, but what challenges do they bring?
Oh, they present a lot of challenges. Where do we start at? You can start with their big guy, Buffin. They got 7, just good. And they got Walker. They got Jelly. I mean, they got all kind of problems. You know, Jimison's biggest, strongest guy in the league. Buffin's good. And, you know, I've said from day one that UAB's they're the best team in the league. And they end up winning tonight about 30.
Yeah.
They was up about 30 at halftime, I think, on Rice. So, but again, it's a big game for us for a lot of reasons too. It's the next game. That's number 1. Happens to be UAB. Happens to be last home game. Happens to be senior night. So we're going to try everywhere in the world to send these seniors out on a good note Saturday night. We good? Got it? All right. Thank you, guys.